Honey, it's all about multi-milk salt cake. I love it so much.
Mom, I love game. Please be bringing more.
Salt Agents, MFH Group, all Sinicale outlets, and King Food Banjul. Call us now on 439-4954 or 422-9975. Munchie Biscuit, the best biscuit in town.
It's a warm welcome from GRTS and welcome to the news at 8. But first, let's take a look at the headlines. Staff of the telecommunications and cellular giants Gamcell descend on Kanilai en masse in response to President Jammeh's back to the land call. Gambia Ports Authority sails through the annual scrutiny of the audited accounts, financial statements and activity reports of public institutions by lawmakers. Kenya invokes Article 51 of the United Nations Charter to combat the worrying spate of kidnappings, threatening its huge tourism industry blamed on the Somalian Al-Shabaab group. And Israel gives its citizens 48 hours to agree or disagree with the list of Palestinian prisoners to be released in exchange for the freedom of kidnapped soldier Gilad Shalit. These and other stories coming out in the next half hour. I am Lamin Manga. Okay. And we thank you for joining us. Staff and senior management of the nation's telecommunications and cellular giants, Gamcell, on Saturday descended on the Kanilai sorghum farm. The volunteer corps led into action by the newly elected executive of the Staff Association of the company described the effort as their contribution to the anti-hunger crusade spearheaded by the President, His Excellency Sheikh Professor Alaji Dr. Yahya Jammeh. We should bring you that report by Abdinjai later in this bulletin. Officials of the European Union and the National Roads Authority recently hit the road to familiarize themselves with the state of the Trans-Gambia and Soma-Basse road projects. Louis Mendy was embedded with the tour party and in our reports.
The first port of call was the Trans-Gambia Highway Road Project, specifically the Soma-Farafenni Highway, contracted to Balasnedam, Africa. About 50% of this 24.5 kilometers lane is still under construction. It is in the acquisition of crushed aggregates from the neighboring Senegal for surface dressing, and the concreting of the road is said to have resulted to the slow nature of the work. Also, the challenging part of the work here is understood to be the existence of swamps on either sides of the river, stretching for 3.1 kilometers and 1.9 kilometers on the sides of Yilitenda and Babatenda crossing points, respectively.
The biggest difficulties for the contractor has been the supply of material from Senegal, especially crushed aggregate from Senegal. That has been the biggest delay in this project here. And of course, the challenge to do the swampy crossings near the Gambia River here has also been. The difficulties we have overcome the difficulties, but it was a challenge also to do that work in the swampy area.
In the heart of summer, work is in progress. The width of this road, measuring 7 meters with 2.5 meters extension on either side as parking lanes, according to the contractors, is constructed to meeting international standards. The 192-kilometer Soma-Basse Road project, contracted to the same firm, is said to be only 20% incomplete.
Overall progress of the project is by now is about 80% is accomplished, and is estimated that in April 2012 is going to be completed. That's the estimate based on the remaining works. There are some summary of the progress which was presented on this brochure that the Soma Kakaliba section of this project, which contains about 46 kilometers, is already provisionally accepted since March 2011, as the contractor has substantially completed all of the required activities on that stretch.
The cause of the slow nature of the work is not different from the previous areas. Andrew Silva, the program officer from the European Development Fund, was generally pleased with the level of progress and quality of the work on the visitor sites. The construction, rehabilitation, and upgrading of the over 76 million euros feeder roads, according to the Permanent Secretary for Works, Abulai Kamara, and Agnes Gillard from the European Union, would enhance regional interconnectivity, the free movement of passengers and goods, and also reduce vehicles' operating costs, thereby enhancing sustainable economic growth. This, according to officials, is the principal objective of the European Union's support to the Gambia National Transport Plan. Louis Mendy, GRTS.
And back to the top story, just coming in. Staff and senior management of the nation's telecommunications and cellular giants, Gamcell, on Saturday descended on their Kanilai sorghum farm. The volunteer corps, led into action by the newly elected executive of the Staff Association of the company, described the effort as their contribution to the anti-hunger crusade spearheaded by the President, His Excellency Sheikh Professor Al-Haji Dr. Yahya Jammeh. Abdul Jaya reports there were similar voluntary exercises in other parts of Kanilai and its vicinity.
It's a vast expanse on the cultivation, and it bears the brands of the country's telecommunication and cellular giants. It is a company's response to the inspirational force driving the agricultural sector. The new executive of the Staff Association wants to gain recognition as a proactive partner in the quest to attain food self-sufficiency.
It's incumbent in all of us to cultivate, to at least do even small farming in our backyard, so that at least we'll have something to eat at the end of the day instead of importing everything. And this farm, honestly, the association have been trying very well to make sure this farm is in a continuous process, and every year we do the cultivation here. And as I said, all that we have from this farm, we give it back to the president, and the president will give it back to us.
Much has changed since 1994, when the president mapped out the new agricultural policy in order to meet the increasing demand for food in 21st century Gambia. That vision and foresight has gone global and is given prominence by recent calls to intensify the anti-hunger crusade. The managing director of Gamtel, Baboucar Sanyang, said the emphasis for the agricultural community is converting peanuts cultivation to varieties that end up on our table.
Now, understanding that the groundnut market has been faced with a lot of constraints when it comes to changing it into cars. And before you wait to get the cars and then you reuse it to buy other foodstuff, it has of late been very, very important for the government of the Gambia to realize that why can't we grow the crops that we are going to be using in our households. And that is why we have changed from total groundnut cultivation into mixed farming. And I think it's paying dividend.
They were not the only institution in Kanilai over the weekend. The Armed and Security Services were wrapping up another intensive activity they have been assigned by their Commander-in-Chief at the Kasu plantation. The motto here is work to finish, and for them there is no turning down the directives given to finish the clearing and trimming of the Kasus, to which they received the commendations of the Gambian leader last week.
The secret is just for us to take the call of His Excellency the President very seriously, and at the same time for us to accept the challenge graciously that he has thrown to the security services. As you know, we normally come here and most of the time we don't exactly know what to expect. But since he has made this allocation of this